Hello, hello. Welcome to our
Yeah, hello.
second live stream. Hopefully you guys can hear us. Please let us know in the chat if you guys can hear audio. Das Killa says 07. 07 to you. I'm hopeful that you guys
Already
can
seeing
hear me
07s in the chat,
okay.
it's always nice.
Okay, sounds great. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Today I've got
Am I
Compy
audible
with
too?
me. Yes. Can you guys hear Compy? All right, loud and clear. Punchbag. Hey, Punchbag, welcome. We got some folks on YouTube. We've got a lot of folks over on Twitch. Okay, Punchbag. Yep, they can hear Compy. Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much for helping us get the audio set up here. So today we want. So today we are going to dive into.
I was just going to say it's going much smoother than last time.
Yeah, thank gosh. It's so hard learning all this stuff. All right, let's go. Okay, so today we're really going to be focused on 4.8. And some of the questions that we have are really, is 4.8 actually a combat patch, or is there something in there for maybe something bigger is changing underneath? Think about our industrial org and our industrial gameplay that we love. Are we included in this patch, or is this just more combat? So something to think about. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about people reacting to ship weapons in the PTU right now. The
armor,
tacticals. Yeah, armor, tactical strike groups, hangar services, support ships getting more of a role in the verse. Sustainment, persistence. I don't know. There's some things in there. The deeper that I look into the patch, the less it felt like a combat patch. Like at first I saw, the tactical strike groups as the headline, right? So I was really feeling like this might be a combat patch, but as we go deeper and deeper into there, hopefully we'll get to see less combat and more things that our org enjoys on the industrial side. So real quick, I just want to do some intro to our community. I want to make sure you guys know you can download all the factory service manuals over on the Patreon. Those are free to download. You can just sign up for an account over there. We also have our YouTube channel, the main YouTube channel, as well as the new Dusty's Workshop YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed over there. We're trying to get this new channel off the ground to get the live streams off of the main channel. And that seems to be going very well. So thank you guys so much if you've already subbed. We are working hard to get affiliate on Twitch. So if you're not following us yet over on Twitch, please do. That would help us so much as we're trying to expand our Thrusters and Dust universe a little bit to be more out there. And of course, every Saturday and even on Sunday, we've got some awesome events over on our Discord server. So I'm just going to give you guys a link over to the Discord. If you're not there, please join the Discord and watch out for the Saturday and Sunday events that we have coming. Some of those events will be live streamed, so if you don't want to be on stream, obviously pay attention to that. But if you guys want to come and hang out and be part of our adventures in the verse together, I really would encourage you to do so. We have a lot of fun, and we have a really great group of folks that are mature and respectful to each other, and we just have a really good time together. So those are the things I want you guys to know a little bit about as we start diving into this stream. One other thing, I've talked to a lot of you one-on-one and personally, and I do consider you my friends. Before we get started, I really just wanted to take a moment for some of our friends in this community, the Thrusters and Dust community, but as well as the bigger Star Citizen community, who might be carrying more than most of us realize. Some of you are dealing with health problems. Some of you are caring for family members. I know some of you are struggling financially and looking for work. You know, I personally was laid off too. Like I know the struggle there. I know some of you are fighting through stress. I've talked to some of you, you're dealing with loneliness and other things that are going on that you don't really want to talk about. And some of you guys are living in places where uncertainty and fear is part of everyday life right now. And I'm not expecting you to explain it all here. Don't do that. But if that's you today, I just want you to know that we're glad you're here. And for the next couple of hours at least, I hope you can feel like you're with friends. I know for a lot of us, the ships in Star Citizen and the Star Citizen community, it's more than just a game for us. Sometimes they give it, the whole community and the ships, they just give us something steady to hold on to for a little while. So for the next hour or two, I hope this can be a place where some of you can set that weight down for a moment that's on your shoulders. Maybe we can hang out together today and have a little fun. And I would love it if everyone in the chat can give those folks an 07 and just let them know that we are here and you guys can maybe set that weight down and have some fun tonight. So I'm going to 07 in chat. If everyone could 07 in chat and just let those folks know that, we care. We do. And I don't like hearing the stories I hear from some of the folks in the community. I feel bad. And, it's all fun and games. It's all good and everything, but not everybody's, can enjoy things to the max because of their situation. So anyway, let's get into the stream. We are going to dig into the 4.8 patch watch video together. And I want you to pay attention to what patterns keep emerging as we're watching this video. Keep an eye out for fleet operations, sustained operations, logistics, support infrastructure, long duration deployments, teamwork systems, persistent operational capabilities. There's some exciting stuff in this patch. And I know Compy and I were talking a little bit earlier about this, and we were quite surprised at some of the things this could enable for our little group, as we do our salvage ops and different things. So in this first pass, when we watch this video, I'm going to let it play through. I'm not going to interrupt it and stop it because I really want you guys to think about those things I mentioned. Yeah. So here we go. Let me know if the audio is good. I've got it cranked up over here.
May is known for combat in the Star Citizen universe, or at the very
Combat.
least, celebrating the various combat vehicles that defend, destroy, or otherwise dominate the more adversarial aspects of life in the PU. And this year, we bring that to the forefront like never before with next week's publish of Alpha 4.8 and the long-awaited Tactical Strike Group's release. With Tactical Strike Groups, you and a select cadre of companions can pull together a small collection of ships designed to overcome a variety of mission objectives and achieve ultimate victory in our first dedicated teamwork-designed, spaceship-based PvE combat release.
Once you get these fighters off us, I'll fill you in on the situation.
Here, you'll come to the aid of a valiant People's Alliance Idris that is locked in mortal combat with the Vanduul tech thieves calling themselves the Shattered Blade. Those same ones that you've been unknowingly chasing since you braved the Tempest and Stormbreaker about this time last year. They've taken hostages and holed up in a previously abandoned and newly fortified extraction station. The mission: take out their forces, disable or survive the turrets,
Good hit. Nice work.
fly inside and bring down the power, and then board the station and recover the hostage. Or, extract them, because it used to be an extraction station. See? And of course, if you've already been testing on PTU or watching others on Twitch and YouTube, you know your troubles don't end there, because the massive Vanduul Mauler is tired of these guys' and don't seem to care which humans are which. So
That
bug
ship
out
looks
or
scary,
stand your
huh?
ground if you can. The choice is up to you. Tactical Strike Groups is the most exciting step yet in realizing the fullest potential of Star Citizen's breadth of flyable combat ships. And like sandbox content such as Align and Mine, operations like Onyx Facilities and Rockcracker, events like Race for Stanton, or even Pyro's Contested Zones, Tactical Strike Groups is not a one-time release, but a new benchmark in the kinds of feature content that we can continue to build on for subsequent patches as we continue building out our universe on this journey to 1.0 and beyond.
All right, here we go, guys.
Alongside this new content is a new feature that looks to change overall fleet gameplay in new and interesting ways, and that's the addition of ship hangar services, where select ships in 4.8 will be able to offer repairs, refueling, and rearming to any ship that lands in its bays, provided, of course, that they have the requisite stock sitting aboard. Now, it's great for obvious ships like the Idris and the Polaris, but it's also coming to the Carrack, the Starlancer TAC, and fancy ships like the 600i and 890 Jump. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting you bring your 890 Jump into combat situations, but you could. And if you're like me, you would. And speaking of refueling, new refueling missions are arriving in Alpha 4.8, designed to help aspiring Good Samaritans begin their careers of helpful service to others. Now, when NPCs take their eye off the gauge, you have new opportunities to get them on their way once more. This is super useful for a ship like the Starfarer, as well as this cute, adorable little guy you might recognize from its recent reveal on social media. You keep expecting the eyes to pop out like a Pixar car. No, yeah, that's better. Now, from new ships to one of our oldest, the Drake Caterpillar is finally getting its fabled command module functionality in the upcoming Alpha 4.8. With this, you can leave your ship planetside and scatter around while others unload, abandon unruly crewmates for their poor behavior, or smile as you discover a loophole in Drake's no escape pod mantra and live to fight another day. It's also worth noting this command module is coming to 2 other vehicles launching in next week's patch. I wonder what those could be. There's a host of new FPS items, including new plasma grenades for blowing things up, new G-force resistant flight suits that daring pilots may want to consider over flying in bulkier armors all the time, and then the main event, the Novia crossbow. Now you can put a pin in bad folks, good folks, and anyone that just annoys you in style with this retro-inspired, futuristic death dealer. And then, of course, there's our co-main event. A big ship combat release like Tactical Strike Groups may highlight a few gaps in your fleet. Well, DefenseCon is here to fill your holes.
Oh yeah, the
After Invictus went
Ironclad.
home to solve, DefenseCon is stepping up to celebrate the everyday heroes who truly make the universe a better and safer place. And maybe without the stuffy heavy-handedness of the UEE Navy. That means fire and attitude as DefenseCon presents the latest in combat spec. And since we're in the middle of DefenseCon Reveal Week on social media, let's take a look at some of the ships on offer during this year's event. The Drake Pitbull, with more guns than common sense perhaps. The Origin M80, proving that looks can kill. The Miss Starlight, saying, not all heroes blow things up. The Aegis Tiburon, which,
wow, look at
I'm
that.
just gonna say it, it's a shark with a frickin' laser beam on its head. And then, of course, the Caterpillar and the Ironclad Assault from Drake. The latter of which is getting the same hangar services we discussed before, and all things working out like they should. Both will be coming to PTU on Monday, May 11th, for existing owners to fly first.
Yay!
Of course, there's one more ship making its concept debut at DefenseCon this year, and that's the
Odin.
Anvil Odin battlecruiser. Now, not much has been revealed at this point beyond, yes, it really is twice the size of the Javelin. but you can get 3 different first glimpses of it tomorrow, May 8th, in the weekly newsletter, social media, and even in the PTU if you know where to look. DefenseCon really is holding nothing back this year, unlike those stuffy UEE folks. Did I do it right? Drake. No, that's backwards. Nope, that's backwards again. Oh my God, that's a D. That's a D, right?
Wait, I got that same shirt too.
Heck yeah, I gotta support Drake, you know?
So it's easy to see that there's a lot going on in 4.8. And like 4.7 before it, this also extends to the weeks after release, with additional Defend location missions coming in 4.8.1, some Alien Week festivities in 4.8.2, and if you haven't heard, the return of Xenothreat in 4.8.3. These guys just really don't care for those pro-alien celebrations. It kind of is. All in all, next week's patch is chock full of content that'll carry us through to 4.9 in July, all led by TSG and DefenseCon. And in that new DefenseCon spirit of sharing things early, let's carry that over and talk about the rest of 2026 for a bit. Now, throughout the remainder of this year, we intend to deliver the newly reworked and fully instanced debut of Siege of Orison, the new Genesis-built planets of the Nyx system, Starware and Starchitect goodness, the enormous multi-stage instance Missile Works operation, a whole bunch of new ships and vehicles and additional gameplay features and quality of life improvements. There's an Apex $7 card that can literally pop its head out at any moment, and of course, as if anybody could forget, Squadron 42. There's a lot we got going on for the remainder of this year, and for that reason, we've made the decision not to host a CitizenCon event for 2026, either in person, digital, direct, or otherwise. It's a decision born out of how important these two games are to everyone on both sides of these projects.
We're going to do it anyway.
And while we'll certainly miss getting to meet so many of you at once,
we'll do our own CitizenCon.
You to check out the Bar Citizen World Tour that's well underway, because we always enjoy every opportunity we get to meet you and hear your stories. For instance, I'm going to Amsterdam in a couple weeks. Come find me and tell me how your TSG experiences went. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. As always, thank you for letting us share the people and process of game development with you. And we'll see you here next week at DefenseCon.
All right. So that is very, very exciting. So much was talked about in that video. I hope you guys were taking notes like me, but we had a lot of information dropped on us in this one little video. So I think the first one I think we should talk about, Compy, is tactical strike groups.
The big one.
Yeah, my question here is, why is CIG building repeatable fleet operations now? Like, what do you think is the driver for this?
Well, in my eyes, it should be pretty obvious. In the previous years, they were really focusing on getting everything flyable and everything playable. Now we've had a lot of their stability, so they can finally put all of that to work and actually get some of the bigger missions that they, in my eyes, have always wanted to do in the game.
Right, and it's co-op, right?
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say. Then they're still working on the social tools, we know that, but for the stuff that we already have in game, there's so much they could be doing right now that they haven't been doing yet, and this is a great step in the first direction to really get this game feeling like an MMO.
One of the questions that something I got completely wrong about these things, and I was told by Space Tomato, and we were in he's recording a video with his supporters, and he asked me to join, which was really fun. But I thought this was going to be the first instanced event in the game, but it's not. It's not instanced at all, and I thought it was. And so I don't know. How do you feel about that? Did you expect that was going to use the new instancing tech, or did you already know?
I honestly thought it would be instanced too originally, but at the same time, a lot of the capital ship fights that they've been doing in the past have not been instances either. They've just been in a location you can't easily get to. So we're going to have to see how this packs out. They might want random people to be able to drop in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Tenpathy on YouTube says Municipal Works were supposed to be the first instance, as far as I know. In this video they talked about 4.8 and they talked about instancing with Siege of Orison coming in 4.8.3, I think it was. So maybe we're going to get the Siege of Orison and the Municipal Works. Yeah, go ahead.
The Vandal Tech Smugglers, was that instance? It could be a situation like that. I'm not actually too sure about that. I have this noted down, but I completely forgot where it was written, so... Yeah. It might use that same light instancing, so technically would still be instanced then.
So when you say light instancing, you're just saying send everybody off to the middle of nowhere, far away from anything, so that everything is streamed out except for where you are. But other players could still technically find you, right?
Just seeing in chat that Tech Smugglers was not. That's my preparation here slipping. So
no worries. Let's talk a little bit more about when we talk about these tactical strike groups. This is like dedicated cooperative teamwork PvE, correct? Like this usually it seems like we get combat scenarios and PvP is always a concern. I feel like we won't need to worry about PvP if we take these new tactical strike groups on.
I think you mean worry about PvP there, but yeah, that does seem like the case. In my eyes, there's a lot of people who want to have PvP in these sorts of events, but I think that to have a proper experience with this sort of stuff, it needs to be a more controlled environment if you want to do a large-scale mission like this. So if you had to worry about PvP in the middle of all of these missions and all of these objectives, it might ruin the experience for a large part. Though in the past there were a few events. Forgot which ones they were. I believe it was the old Xeno Threat event where you had to take out the capital ship.
And then you had people playing on the Xenotech side, right? Like some people were signing up with the other side.
Yeah, although it was less signing up on the other side and more just showing up to kill people.
Yep.
I really hope they do go into the instancing direction, because from my point of view, in actually looking at hosting events to run this, if I had to also constantly keep other people in mind during those missions, I'm not sure we would be able to run it with a group our size.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That would definitely
it would
be
just be a lot
challenge.
more trouble than it's worth to make these missions as enjoyable as they could be, in my eyes.
One of the things that seems like this is going to open up is support roles. You know, like we always hear that there's gameplay that people want, where people do want supporting roles. Not everybody wants to be at the frontline combat. You know, like for me personally, I want to do the engineering. I want to keep the ships repaired, and I feel like this new rearm repair thing is a good thing. I'm excited to have that capability for, you know, the whole repair and refuel on board. I just wish there was a little more for folks to do in a support role in that. It seems like the ship just lands, clicks a button in their mobi-glass, and everything's done. You know, it'd be cool if I was sitting up in the hangar bay of the Idris, you know, in those windows, and I had some buttons to push. Like they could request it, but I have to do something for it to actually work, right? As maybe someone working on the ship. So that's something.
From what we're seeing.
Go ahead.
From what we're seeing, this is a great first step to get that sort of gameplay in, because getting this functional at all already shows that there is an interest in it, that people do care about this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Before this, missiles and such did have to be manually reloaded, but that did leave a fair chunk of people with not really a lot to do when everything was out and about. So for the current state of the game, I do think that this might be the best way to go about things. With engineering, we know that they're working on a lot more, and this is really just a version 1 of it. I do believe, though, that they are adding the ammo system where you need proper ammo boxes, proper fuel boxes, which might open up for some ships the possibility that you might need to have some other ship on standby to bring in the supplies that you need. But that also depends on the size. An Idris you can load up with more than enough supplies to run whatever mission you want.
Well, we'll have to see how that works out, because if you're having to bring a lot of ballistic ammo and ballistic cannon ammo, you technically could run out and need to be resupplied. Do you think that with the mission itself, the tactical strike group mission, it's like there's a lot of pieces to that? Hey, Star Jump! Welcome. Thank you so much for helping me get all set up on Twitch and with Restream. I'm like a real person now. Look at me. I owe a lot to Grim, but I'll tell you, he spent so much time with me the other day. Yeah, we're doing good, Star Jump. Good to have you. Yeah, he helped me so much get all set up and understand how some of this stuff works, and it's just been awesome. But what I was saying is the mission themselves, it seems like there's a lot of operational sequencing that's going to have to happen, because it's a multi-stage process, right? Like getting there, defeating enemies, taking out the turrets, taking out the power, so that you can go inside on foot and extract the hostages or whatever's inside, right? So like, how do you see that? Like when you think about fleets and multi-roles and how you put a fleet together to do this operation, what are you envisioning we're going to need as an org to do those operations? Hey, Roy.
I think that having it be in different sequences is actually a better way to do things, since if you had to do everything at once, that would mean that you need people to be able to do everything at the same time. But if you do this, you can have people go out in a fighter. Then when you need to do boarding, you can have some of the fighters return to your main capital ship and then go on board something that can drop them off inside. And you can really, even with a smaller group, you can accomplish a lot more just by being able to set out different tasks to do rather than everything needs to be done at once. About the previous point, though, I did see one in chat from Duskilla, about the fear that in the arcade era the mechanics will be replaced. You got to keep in mind that a lot of this is still very much ongoing. They're seeing what is fun and what works and what doesn't. You will at some point lose a bunch of the realism, but there's a lot of things where you got to realize that if you have a real focus on simulation, you will introduce a lot of tedium that you don't really want to have. They have to strike a balance there. That's what I'm trying to say. So things being arcadey now doesn't mean that things are going to get lost in the future.
And by arcadey, I guess what do you think that means?
Oh,
like
and
DOS Killer, when you say my fear in this era of arcade mechanics being replaced with sim-focused systems will scare off a lot of existing players who've built expectations naively on the wrong info. Could you just give us another comment there? I just want to understand what you were asking a little better, because I think you have a really strong point, and I'm not, it's not clicking for me. You're saying today things are arcadey, or do you think today they're making it arcadey because it's like the early stages of this, and once they make it so someone on the ship needs to run over there with a fuel hose and plug it into your ship, and other people need to manually load missiles, like you're talking about, once they go to that direction with the sim side of it, it might make things a lot harder for people to jump into the game? Okay. No, that's a really fair point, because, I'm one of those people who are used to the arcadey mechanics, but I'm also one of the people who loves the manual stuff. Like, I can't wait to pull out up to the gas pump and grab the hose and bring it to my ship and plug it in. Like, I love that. I'm pumped for those things, but a lot of people probably aren't. So I'm probably not in the majority of players. The one thing I thought about when looking at these new tactical strike groups is it feels like it's less about hero ships and more about coordinated operations.
I mean, that is exactly what you want in this type of game.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should feel useful. Everyone needs to feel useful, or else they're going to look for other things to do. But at the same time, you don't want one person doing everything on their own. If they can get that balance correctly and get everything to feel like it has its place and has its impact, honestly, I can see the mentality about how people look at missions changing really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm personally not a person that gets a lot of the negativity, but yeah.
Do you think people will be able to take this mission and run the entire thing in a light fighter?
In a light fighter alone, no. There's one point in there that I can already point out that's going to really break that. The mission is, in the end of the day, about extracting hostages. I don't think you can strap a person onto your arrow and then go flying off with them. Although there probably will be someone that tries that.
Right. So
but
everyone in the
on
chat.
On the other hand, are there people that are going? Oh.
I was going to ask while we're talking about this, if the folks in the chat, would you run this with friends and org mates or random people? Like if they ever get a group finder, do you see this working? And do you plan on jumping in there with friends and org mates, or in the future even random people? So while we're talking about this, I'd love to see your thoughts in the chat. Okay, let's go back, Compy, because we were talking about, like when I think of a hero ship, I think of an Idris, a Polaris. Is that what you think of?
In my eyes, it depends on the situation that you're in. You can have a large centerpiece ship that is the biggest thing you look at, but at the same time, is that really a hero? Because say take Star Wars, for instance, where the heroes are always the one in either the smaller ships or the ships that small groups are in. They go around, they have the most impact. It was a fighter that killed the Death Star. It's usually small bombers that take out the Star Destroyers. Hero ship is a really situational term, and what it really boils down to is who was the most useful.
Do you ever think we'll have leaderboards for these
here,
types of missions?
I hope not.
Like
the moment you
killed
have
the most
leaderboards, people are going to be competitive.
I know, but that might be a good thing. I don't know. Like, I'm just curious. Like, I know these are supposed to feel like realistic events occurring in real time in the verse and not a game, but at the same time, leaderboards create so much engagement, right? If you're the guy who defeated the last power supply on the thing, which enabled the ground troops to go in and rescue the folks. Like, should there be an MVP of that event, you know? Or is it just something that we'd have to recognize within the org itself?
There's actually two things here. You can, they could, in my eyes, put this in some kind of social tool. If you have that within an org, say like, hey, this person here is contributing the most by, let's say this person here repaired the most ships, this person here refueled everyone, this person here took out the most Van Duel. If you have it in that way, you could promote it in a very healthy way and then have it in a way that doesn't feel as gamey. Since leaderboards, say you have in Arena Commander, if you put in a leaderboard like that, everyone's going to be taken out of what they're doing instantly. You press a button, you get exactly every name, what they did. That's not immersive.
Yeah, think about reputation,
but at the same
though.
time, I was actually going to go into that next. At the same time, there already are some leaderboards technically in reputation, and some of the old ideas they had about specific roles having a reputation in that, being really reliable in certain jobs. Wouldn't that be enough?
Maybe. Like, it would be interesting, like, if we were recruiting for the org, or we were paying somebody to help our org finish or complete this thing, because we want to do it as an org, but maybe we don't have enough people. Could you recruit folks that were really good at taking out, you know, the power supplies or the turrets, or because, you know, you can see in their experience on tactical strike groups, they've got the highest rank for defeating the turrets or something. I don't know if they're planning anything like that. I haven't heard anything.
I don't think they are, but there is one real danger with this line of thinking, and that is that if you do this, there will automatically be a large list of groups that will instantly just go, oh, if you want to participate, you need like a minimum. You need to have already done it a fair number of times. I think the best way for this would just be word of mouth. Right. Hey, this group is fairly reliable with it, and then you get in contact with them and you set up communications. That type of meeting new people is exactly this type of situation you want in game. So let's be real, you're having the most fun if you're engaging with other people. I do, at least. Yeah. I should specify there for these missions. Not saying that playing on your own isn't fun.
I see Big B's in the chat. Hey, I wanted to acknowledge his comment. He said that he really likes how Helldivers 2 handles this. Everyone gets equal credit for being part of the mission based on how long they have been part of the mission. So it's a time-based, sounds like. And someone who joins late makes less, but still makes points, gains whatever rewards there were. It really promotes teamwork without taking away from individual accomplishment. Have you played Helldivers? I have not, but I'm aware of the game.
I have. I have a few hours on it, only 600.
600? So, holy cow. That's good.
I've had it since launch, so it's not like I just got that overnight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's one I like this. We need to have this line of thinking if you want to start implementing this sort of stuff in social tools, but there is one situation in Star Citizen that I think would be a bit problematic for this. Say you're a person that does logistics. You go into this mission and you bring a ship full of resupply materials, ammo boxes and whatnot. You will only be there for a few minutes at most, but you will have a massive impact on what's going on. And you're not going to be staying there with a cargo ship.
Oh, that's a really good point, because that person's going to go and then they're going to leave and refill ammo, fuel, whatever, and then come back again. But maybe if they're in the same group and the group is assigned to the instance of the mission, assuming instancing comes in at some point, that could be an interesting way to tie it all together. And that way, if you did have to leave to get more supplies, it wouldn't be counted against you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what they're planning. I know that for mission V2, which I'm not sure when they're doing that. It's good. Soon TM, the usual. I know that they do have a plan to expand on how missions pay out for a group, and does anyone know if they've said anything about it specifically? Because I was struggling to find it, other than they're doing it.
Yeah, if anyone knows in chat, please post it for us. We're curious about that for sure. One of the big things that was touted with this whole new system is hangar services. Does this change fleet gameplay forever, having this feature? Do you feel like this is a something that's going to change the way we play this game going forward?
I mean, we were already discussing this earlier, and I think that this will have a much larger impact on the game than it really first seems.
Right.
We run a lot of salvage operations, and currently something we often do is we bring along an Idris, which is mainly for parking ships and getting your food and drinks and whatnot, and a lot of storing cargo, though we aren't going to do that anymore because it takes too long to offload that thing. If you can also bring a ship like that, or in the future like a Liberator, and you can also do all of the rearming and repairing from within your fleet, that means that you're not going to have any pit stops. You're not going to have to do anything other than the type of gameplay you're really there for. That change, I'm not even sure if that will have the most impact on combat specifically.
Right. One of the things
The larger part.
I was gonna say, one of the things
The
I
larger
was
changes.
Sorry. We keep talking over each other.
We need to stop doing this.
I know. Okay.
You go.
Okay, I was just gonna make one comment about this, because a lot of people are into mining and they like to do solo mining ops, right? And I'm busy working on the C2 Hercules factory service manual, right? And we've got folks out there who have told me that they load up the C2 with mining ships, salvage ships, and just go out and spend a whole day just doing stuff and using that as a base. Now, the C2 isn't not getting this feature, right? Because it doesn't technically have a hangar. So it's such a good carrier, but it won't have this ability. And the ships that do have this ability are not as easy as maybe a C2 for some players to obtain. Like if you need to have an Idris to fit all your ships in, that's a lot harder to obtain than a C2 in game, right? And then if you have a Carrack, it's a very small hangar. You're not going to do a lot of big ops there. I mean, you could put the ship in the front and then bring it up to the top and rotate them, if you needed to repair. But I know for me, whenever I'm doing mining, my ship gets damaged often because I'm not very good at it. But how do you think this impacts like mining ops?
I think there's two ships here specifically that are going to, I think, become extremely popular for these types of things. One is the Ironclad Assault. That one is getting the rearmor repair option. And that one has even more space for your mining bags, small vehicles. A lot of the starter miner vehicles are actually the best for this, I've come to find. You don't want to know how many salvations you can shove inside an Idris. It's kind of insane. But
Hmm.
Another big one is actually going to be the Liberator. The Liberator on its own, you can have entire operations based off of that thing, and now you're not going to have to stop for anything other than maybe resupplying when you're completely run out. Small group. I don't mean like large orders. I mean small groups of like. You could even do this down to 5 people if you want to skeleton crew some of these ships.
Mm-hmm.
Can suddenly host events that can last entire days if they want to, and that won't have any of the tedium of getting together and really spending hours getting ready for something and then having whole chunks of time get wasted because your ship got slightly damaged or you ran out of fuel. The entire experience is just going to be a lot smoother when you really start getting into what ships can be used for this, how you can use them, and the amount of people you'd need.
Mm-hmm. No,
I
that's
don't even, if you can't tell, I've been debating buying a Liberator.
yeah, that's going to be an interesting ship. And now that this game plays in, there's all the more reason for them to get that ship come into the game sooner. I feel like Star Citizen's moving away from disposable ship spawning and towards sustained ops capabilities, right? It seems
Yeah, it
like
really has
it's
been.
easier to just abandon your ship and claim it than to bother with repair, rearm, and refuel. But if you're out in the middle of an op, that's not really ideal, right?
I did see Bigby in chat say that space stations aren't too bad, but I do have one counter argument there. What if you're mining or salvaging in the middle of some kind of asteroid belt and there isn't one anywhere nearby you? It sounds like an unrealistic situation, but it's one that we have actually been in several of the events that we've run. We have gone mining in the Glacium Belt, and we have gone salvaging in Nyx before. We've had points where people were stranded because they ran out of fuel so
Ouch.
far from any station that it was actually a struggle to even get them back.
Wow.
Though I will say, if you're exclusively someone that plays in Stanton and in some cases Pyro, this isn't going to be the biggest change.
Mm-hmm. That leads me to hey chat, what ships suddenly become more valuable because of this new system? Like, what are we not thinking about that you guys are thinking about right now that's like this other ship suddenly has way more value because of these things? You know, I was thinking about like obviously the Starfarer, the new Starlight. You know, we'll talk about those ships in a minute.
The Crucible. That's one that I haven't actually thought about. Let me quickly grab the store page for that one, actually.
Yeah, let me see. Maybe I can pull it up here for the screen for everybody. Let me see. Let me go to shop. I'm gonna pull up the store page, guys. Hold on. Okay, so we want to go to the ships, right?
I know that
explore ships.
I believe
That's
Trinvold, who for the stream, Trinvold is a person who I often have as my co-pilot for a lot of the larger ships that we run. And in a lot of cases, he owns the ship, and I'm the one that captains it or really does a lot of the day-to-day work of how to do it. I think he owns a Crucible. It was either a Crucible or a Vulcan. Not sure.
Mm-hmm. So, looking at this ship, hey, Technokoopa, so good to see you. You can. It's good. It's good to see you lurking. I'm happy to see you. Yeah, the Liberator. But look at this Crucible ship here. So this looks like it has a landing pad on it, right? Oh, that it looks detachable.
Yeah, I believe that one is a repair ship that is either for small fighters or medium ships, and the landing pad determines which it was for. It's been a while, so I could be wrong.
Gotcha. What is going on in this picture with this Idris? It looks like there's like straps going from this ship up to the Idris. Are they just refueling? Are they repairing it? Are these repair beams?
I believe the blue beams are meant to be repair, but I could be wrong. What ship is that in the background? The rectangular one.
I thought these were all 3 crucibles. And then
Oh yeah, those
Idris.
are all crucibles.
Yeah, the front one has
I
its
have not.
pod detached.
I have not seen the crucible in a fairly long time.
See these pipes right here? These things coming off? Are those refueling, or are those like tractor like straps holding this thing in place? While these look like repair beams. We don't have enough beams, so like we don't have repair beams today. Like we have salvage ships, but like the salvage multi-tool, you can flip a switch and then you're repairing instead of salvaging, right? But you can't do that with a vulture.
I already saw in chat that they're definitely going to be beams in the end. We are in the era of beam citizen.
Okay. Hey, Wrecker, what is the scarab? When you say what is the scarab attached? Is the scarab this piece right here, which is like a little small hangar that's not attached here? Oh, it's a detachable garage. Okay. That is interesting, huh?
Honestly,
yeah.
I think this might be. Well, no. I think drones are the main thing blocking this from happening.
I didn't see any drones in these pictures. What do you mean by drones? There's no drones here.
You see them? There's no drones? I thought the thing had drones.
I mean, these look like people actually doing hand repairs.
Drones.
These don't look like drones.
I'm probably confusing it with something else.
Maybe. Let me see. So let's go to the next picture, because this ship is very cool, isn't it? Do you guys like this ship, chat?
Wait, I'm confused with the like old repair system where you had the animation drones flying around.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was getting confused with.
This looks like it rotates the wings, doesn't it? Like this is like VTOL for takeoff, and then they rotate around. This is an interesting interior. I don't understand what's happening inside the ship from these pictures. Maybe they have another interior.
Rotates, that's why.
Oh, the bridge rotates. That's freaking crazy, huh? That's going to be a really cool ship. How many folks in chat have a crucible in their hangar already?
All right.
Melted. Oh, no. Come on, someone's got a crucible in their hangar in chat. I know it. Someone's got to have one. Someone probably is waiting so patiently for this ship to get in the game right now.
Oh, on YouTube, we have someone saying aye.
Okay. DQ Woods. You're my kind of people. This is the kind of ship, for my type of gameplay. I want to have repair ships like this, repair docks. I want to be fixing the ships for the fleet, keeping them operating. That would be cool. Let's see. Here we go. We have an interior shot.
The real problem is that I can already see you trying to film an entire video on board one of these things.
Yeah, Riker's got a good point. There's a lot of uncertainty because it's a concept ship, but
they're getting those in game eventually.
Yeah, the command. Okay, yeah, you're right. Empathy. The command module puts us one step closer to the Crucible because the detachable garage is similar to the Ironclad or the Caterpillar.
That does make me wonder, of all the concept ships, how many were actually waiting for the command modules to be a thing? Since I know that we're getting the Ironclad and the Caterpillar. Other than this, I'm not actually sure.
The flying toolbox, they call the Crucible. The flying toolbox. That's so cool.
Now we need to get back to the schedule, otherwise you're going to be buying one of these on stream.
I know, right? Okay, hold on. Change the topic. Let's go back before I start getting ready. Okay. One last comment before we get into the ships, okay? One last comment before we jump into all the new ships. I feel like this is adding so much work for Trinvald. Think about we're going to go do this amazing op as an org. We're going to be out there salvaging and doing all this stuff. And now he's got to log in extra early because he needs to buy all of the supplies that the ship will need in order to support the op. He has to load them all onto the ship to support the op, right? Like, oh my gosh, doesn't that seem like a lot of work?
You're missing a crucial thing here. We can get other people to do it. See, in a lot of our events when we had a hauler show up, they would usually be waiting around until the vultures or the miners had stuff for them to bring to the stations. Now you can send them off to go grab supplies at the start. They'll need to have more stuff to do. A bit ago, there was the comment about the arcadey nature of Galactica and stuff. This is a pretty good step in the right direction with having stuff that it doesn't matter how arcadey or how realistic it is. This is stuff that you can do that everyone will feel like has an impact and is having fun with. The game needs a lot more of that, in my eyes.
That's interesting. So I'm thinking about what they were showing us recently, where you can store the ship with a loadout and then like bring the ship already loaded up with supplies and just pay the money for it.
Where was that? I might have missed that.
That's like the new insurance stuff.
The new insurance. The new insurance is mostly yeah, Wrecker. I misunderstood what they were talking about. Yeah, the new insurances seems to mostly be aimed at crafted components, so you don't lose any of that. I don't know if that's also for what you have inside of the ships, though. Cargo-wise, at least.
Right. To me, I really want to be able to call the ship up with all of the supply loadout that I want, right? Like have the ammo I want, the fuel I want to be able to resupply with. Like it would be great just to be able to say, you know, maybe you go to this new shop tab in the Moby-Glass and you're buying stuff to be delivered to the ship, or maybe you do it from like center mass. I don't know. Thinking about the shops that sell the supplies, right? You would want to be able to go to those shops, buy the stuff, and tell it to put it in the Idris on the cargo grid. And then when you call the ship up, maybe there's a wait timer or whatever, but it's all there for you. And you can just leave and not have to load it all manually.
Yeah, that would be great. There is the automatic offloading, but automatic onloading for some supplies would also be incredible for when you're setting up these operations. But that does, on the other hand, also take away a part of a reason why you'd have more crew on hand. Loading this stuff up on your own is fairly boring, but if you have one or two friends around and you can be social and have a nice conversation while you're loading up the ship, it's not as much of a big deal.
Yeah, it's just time. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, but that is also the gameplay you set up for you. If you know that you're going to need to load and offload a lot of cargo, that is a thing you should keep in mind when you're setting up these operations. And in chat, paint job repairs, I hate that that's not a thing yet. They need that as like a check a box if you're every time you repair your ship. There's some ships that look great when they're all beat up and really look like they've been through it. Specifically,
that.
Argo and Drake ships look amazing like that. But when I get my Perseus out and you can't even see what skin's on it anymore because I've used it so much, it's just not the same.
Yeah, you should have an option repair with paint or leave the paint alone, but just fix the broken spots. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay. Time to move on to our next topic, because the stream is going by quickly, guys. We're already an hour in, and there's stuff I want to talk about with you guys. All right, let's talk about ships. My favorite thing in the game. Drake ships.
Now we're getting somewhere interesting.
Now, yeah, this is getting fun, right? Yeah, look at this ship here, the Pitbull. What do you think about the Pitbull?
For me, the moment I saw it, the very first thought I had is that looks like it came out of some early 2000s video game. Large, blocky cockpit, square design, bulky wings with really large guns sticking out. I love this thing.
I like the PVC they use to hold up the displays.
I didn't even notice that.
It's got PVC tubing.
Hold up, zoom in on that again. For a second, I thought that was being held up by zip ties.
It kind of looks like it right
lines
there.
That looked like zip ties. If that is the case, I am immediately getting one of these. That's way too funny.
Yeah,
it's just a piece of rope.
Yeah,
I think those are meant to be wires, but
here.
Yeah. It would be the most Drake thing to have your ship be held up by PVC pipes and zip ties. I would not be surprised seeing that in my Clipper sometime.
Yeah, this is the Drake Fury. Someone said in chat. Yeah, someone said it looked like an Apache helicopter. I agree with that too. I totally see this looking like the front of a helicopter. You can almost imagine the rotor blade up here because the engines are in the right spot for a helicopter. I wish you could see below. I love when you can look down and see below the ship here. I don't know what this thing is right here. I'm wondering.
Well, if you look at how high up.
Oops.
If you look at how high up the head is, you probably still have a very good vision downwards.
Yeah, but look at this thing. This reminds me of the Hawk, the back of the Hawk.
What I think that is that might open up, and then like the Hawk, you have the seat coming down. Oh, we have a subscriber.
Oh, thank you. That's way too small. See, I told you that I can't even see what that said. Sorry, I'm still trying to get my my streams set up so I can see things, and something just popped up on the screen, but it was so tiny that I did not see it. So I'm gonna try to make that bigger so I can actually see it when something happens, because that was probably something important that I did not see. I'm gonna lock it right there. All right. No, my thought is, what if this ship can also move prisoners? And this is this like the Hawk? Like, we don't know enough about this ship yet. I mean, yeah, we know it's a little subfighter, but do you think there's any other use for this?
Have you seen the actual size of this thing?
Thank you, Trash.
Have you seen the actual size of this thing?
It's tiny, like a Fury, right?
Video for in the video Defense Con, that thing is shown in the right at the front of the entrance.
Look at this thing. I really love this thing.
It looks so good. The giant engines on the back too really sell it.
Yeah, it is such a good looking little ship, but again, it's probably not for everybody. It's a little tiny ship.
Roy, you got to keep in mind with this one that for current armor, it's not great, but this isn't meant to go out on its own and really start killing ships, just killing anything that gets close. With this, you're taking out a light fighter, maybe fighting a medium fighter at best. If there's anything more, you should have brought a dedicated fighter. This is more the support ship to something that normally cannot defend itself at all. This, here's something I'm wondering. What ships do you think this could fit inside of?
I think it's made for the Ironclad. Do you guys think they designed it?
Sure.
They showed it in the Ironclad in one of these shots, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Look, right there. See it taken off from the Ironclad?
Yeah, for these types of ships, you can easily load one of these in.
Look at them all. Look how many
and have
fit.
it be as
8 of
some
them.
kind of fighter. You could easily fit a lot more.
Well, yeah, but like comfortably. Yeah, this reminds me of when the Fury came out and people were loading up the Caterpillars and sending them out as like attack carriers.
I will say, I've heard that some people can do some scary work with Fury, and I do not doubt for a second that this thing will be the same way in the right pilot's hand.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's summarize this ship, Compy. Who is this ship for, and why do they want it?
I think this is a great backup ship if you're running something that normally is not able to properly defend itself against small fighters.
Okay.
This is not something you're going to be buying just to go out and fly for fun, although it probably would be very fun to fly. But if you have a larger ship that needs the support, if it really starts getting into a hot zone, this is a great backup to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so pumped for this little guy. I'm excited to see where all the components are and what's its stock loadout, and is it stealthy? Could you stealth this thing out? It'll be interesting to see all the possibilities with this little guy. Moving on.
Bigby said it, the TAC, that thing definitely fits an attack.
Yeah. All right, we are looking at the Starlight now. This one.
Ooh, this is a good one.
It's so interesting looking. Like the shape of this ship is just so interesting. It looks like there's a door panel here. Maybe there's an elevator that comes down. It looks like it has a turret at the top. It's not a fighter.
That might be a pilot gimbal. Looking at it.
Okay. It might okay. Yeah.
I cannot confirm that, but that is what it looks like to me.
Do you think we're going to see another variation of this ship? Because it very much looks like the Star Lancer. And then it makes me think we've got the Max and we've got the TAC. Could we have the Starlight and then maybe this is the refuel version? Could we get a cargo variant here? Could we get a mining variant? It feels like these big tanks at the bottom, maybe could be swapped out with different modules.
I think that they're actually going to be really putting a lot of focus in getting refueling in a fun state, and then have this kind of be the flagship vessel for that. Can I just point out that the front of it, the real cockpit section, really reminds me of the original Freelancer.
Where do you see the cockpit, like the details? Is there another photo somewhere that I haven't
just
seen?
The front of it.
Just the shape.
Here.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
That really reminds me of the original Freelancer for some reason. The Starfarer, for Bigby in chat, the Starfarer is a much larger scale refueler. This is going to be a much smaller, probably 2-person ship, while the Starfarer requires a small crew. It's like comparing a what ship's we good comparison here? It's like comparing a Cutlass and a Corsair. Guess that would be a good one.
Or a Reclaimer and a Vulture?
Well, Reclaimer is borderline capital, so
Okay.
that
So
is
maybe not.
a bit of a big jump.
Yeah.
Probably Reclaimer. Actually, Vulture and a Mole, maybe. That might be, or Moth. Keep getting the names confused.
Yeah, Technocupa mentioned the a replacement or a rework of the Freelancer series using this as kind of the new design. You know, looking at the Star Lancers, this very much looks like the Star Lancer more so than the Freelancers, right?
Yeah, for sure. Though, in my eyes, the Freelancers are currently in a pretty good spot looks-wise, but that might also just be me.
Yeah, I love the Freelancer. Max is definitely my favorite ship in the game still. For some reason, I just think that the cockpit area and the hab area of the Freelancer series could use a little bit of an overhaul or a rework. And
yeah,
I'm excited to see, because this is a small ship, I'm excited to see the interior here. Is it going to be like the Hull A kind of interior size, or is this bigger? You know, if it looks big, but like these tanks take up a ton of space, right? Like if you look at this top view right here.
Yeah, those are large.
Yeah, it's a very big. Let me zoom in here for you guys can see. Yeah, look how much of this ship is taken up by these tanks. Looking at it top down, like it's not just that they're at the bottom and this is habitation up at the top. These cut through the entire ship. So the interior here is like the Hull A, the Prospector. This is going to be smaller than the Fortune inside here, I think, because the Fortune lets you walk all the way to the back and there's a little grid. So this is definitely a
we're gonna have to
ship.
see. This might be solo. It might be 2-person at most. I can see them having it be a 2-person ship. Then you have one person do the flying and another person do the actual refueling panel. That would be a pretty clever setup to do with this. But it's not going to have more than that. It might have just the area where you fly and operate the ship, and then a small living space, and that might just be it.
Changing gears here.
Oh boy. I have heard so many people be so insanely excited about this thing.
How could you not? Look how gorgeous this thing is.
It is a really pretty looking ship. I'm not the biggest fan of how the engines look, but that might just be me.
Yeah, it just looks fast. It looks aggressive. It's got a really strong aggressive profile. I'm not a fan of the front view as much, but the
I do like the front view.
The side view
looks very.
The
front
compact.
view looks very sleek. It might just be the image, since the engines look very like blacked out on that almost.
Yeah,
I think it's meant to go for a really sleek, modern fighter design look from the front, and I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, it definitely has a more today's cockpit style. You know, this feels more like a fighter jet from today. What do you think about the loadout of this ship?
2 size 5s, 2 size 4s, I believe it was, from what I've heard.
Where's the size 4s? I see on the wing they have these
on the wing tips. Yeah,
these are size 5s?
No, those are size 4s. Look in the video.
Let me go back.
They're really hard to see. I believe if you go to the Defense Con video, that one does have them.
Oh, they didn't put it in this
showing
one?
Pretty well.
Okay, let me see.
They probably did. I know they just showed better here.
Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Make heroes the best way we know how.
All right, let's see what we got.
It wasn't this one, right? Or am I being dumb?
Yeah, maybe it's.
Oh no, wait, they didn't show it in this.
No, I thought it was in this one.
No. They did show it in the other one. Yeah, this one and the part about the fence con. I'm getting confused here.
All right. Let's go back.
Yeah,
so
the fence con section.
Who is this ship for? Is this a racing ship? Is this another light fighter? Is this a medium fighter?
I can see this going two ways. It is either going to be a heavy fighter that is more designed around being an interceptor, being very fast, being having a really good acceleration, or I can see this being a heavy fighter that's more on the lighter side going towards the medium. I did just see in chat that apparently 2 guns seem to be missing here, either missing or hidden.
Right, they might come out of one of these bay. You know how some of them close into a bay. Maybe they closed them for the picture.
That or
Let's say it's got
just
missiles.
not shown here.
Let's say it's got 16 missiles, maybe size 2s.
Probably, those might be good. Yeah, like was said in chat by Duskilla, this definitely is. Or I personally think that this is most likely going to be aimed more at being an interceptor, since I don't recall having any heavy fighter currently that has interceptor style tuning.
Okay, so this would be what is the Guardian? You think it competes with the Guardian MX? I think DOS Killer said that.
Most likely.
Guardian. Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh, 16
On
size
the other hand,
1
I can
missiles,
also see
he said too.
16 size 1's that.
Hold on, we got a timestamp.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you for the timestamp. All right, let's put this up on the screen, and 6:03. Now I need to watch this carefully because I am. Oh, look at it. It's going to be beautiful, I bet. All right, here we go. Look at that thing. Oh yeah, I see the. Oh,
there. See,
those guns are just completely missing. Guns. Wow. Okay.
Hey, if you wanted,
that is some big guns. Hold on a second. Those are massive guns. I was not expecting them to be that big.
Yeah,
wow.
This is pretty in line with what a lot of the heavy fighters have gun-wise. If it was just 2 size 5s or just 2 size 4s, that would be fairly underpowered compared to some of the other ones we got.
Does this have an interior, you think? Like the...
I doubt it.
No interior back there?
No. Here's the thing. Where would the interior be? Unless you're going crawling in there, I don't think that there's really going to be any space.
Right. So this is another ship with no cargo bay, no interior.
It does have one? I just saw in chat that it apparently does have one behind the cockpit.
Okay.
No.
So there could be a little space back there.
We're gonna have to see.
For a gun rack or something? Or a suit locker?
We're gonna have to see.
We don't have to wait much longer, guys. We don't have to wait much longer.
If it there's one benefit to it not having one, and that is that would make the ship a tiny bit more compact, making it more likely to easily fit inside of things like an Idris.
It looks small enough to fit in the Idris Bay. It looks like it sits low.
It really does look like that, yeah. If it does, that would also be a pretty good selling point for using it in something like a fleet op. Since if that thing fits inside an Idris pretty easily, you can bet your ass they're going to sell that thing like hotcakes.
Hey, if Redleg
with that kind of guns.
Hold on, if Redleg is in the chat on one of the streams, I don't know if he's here today. Is this a ship you're looking at to replace something in your fighter fleet? If you think about your Firebird or one of your other ones, I'm just curious if you see this as a real option. He does a lot of the fighter gameplay, so I was just curious if he was thinking about this is going to be better than, you know, the Firebird or some of the other fighters in the game. It looks really good though. How many folks, just put a Y in the chat if this is on your short list of new ships to get. What do you think? I'm sure Carlot's going to add it to his list. Empathy, Technokoopa. No for Daskilla. Wrecker, maybe. Maybe for Wrecker. This one's a tough one for me. Because I don't think I'll use it, but I just want it because it's pretty. I know that sounds silly, but sometimes I just park my ships in my hangar just because I like how they look. Is it prettier than the Wolf?
I'm not sure about that one. I'm far more into the large ships for when it comes to the Wolf. It's so small, it's not a ship I often think about.
Yeah.
That's the problem with having me on.
No, it's okay. It's good. Okay. Time to move forward to the Tiburon. I know some folks are excited about this one. I heard a rumor that Trinvald is already thinking about this one. I don't know if it's true. Trinvald, you'll have to let us know.
I think he's up for dinner. He might not be in chat.
It's okay. This ship confuses me quite a bit. And the thing that confuses me is these things sticking out the sides. Why? What is this? What are these for?
Those are the turrets. Those are two small turrets. I believe that is shown in the video.
But why are they sticking out like this? Is it just so they can reach the front of the ship better? Is it to make the turret more useful?
Do they also have a bit sticking out with turrets in the regular ships there though?
And which one?
It's like the regular Hammerhead.
I know, but this feels extreme, doesn't it?
Yeah, but this, like was also put in chat, this does give a lot better coverage.
Ah, okay.
Since you can turn the ship, or you can turn the turret around more without having the ship be in the way.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed this, but you see on the front hammer section of it, with those two bits sticking out. In the video, there's also large turrets there with large single cannons. I don't think those are on here either.
These under here, this under these little front canards.
There.
Canards, however you say that.
I don't think they're on here, but those do seem to have large cannons on them. Oh yeah, there. You can see them right there.
Yep. Those look like laser cannons, right?
I think they're ballistic in the video. I have to rewatch it.
Interesting.
I'm just curious what size those are going to be. Those look like size 6, maybe.
You think they're 6? They could be. They could be. Do you guys like the design of this ship? Is there anyone in the chat that feels like this is like their favorite ship design?
I've met a few people for which it definitely does seem to be.
Did you see what Zombari said?
Yeah,
he might just melt the whole fleet. You know, you would not be alone. I have melted my whole fleet many times for ships. So, you know, you're in good company. Melt away. I think that's fun.
That what Tempathy just wrote is exactly the thing that I was discussing about in your server about a bit ago about this ship. If they make that laser pilot controlled, which they most likely will, am I the only one here that has the concern that this could start a smaller scale Idris problem where you're going to have people running these ships alone just using the main laser. That might just be a concern I'm having, but that is a thing that I'm seeing.
Do you think they'll do that?
That is a thing that concerns me, but what makes me slightly less concerned is the two large guns at the front. They might make it not the most overpowered laser weapon, and then have the real damage be split in the laser and the small turrets. A thing that I can see and that I have been thinking about is that it has a fairly low damage output, but a really consistent, really fast fire and consistent damage, making it really good against shields, but not really good against anything armored. That is a direction I can see it going, and if that is the case, it would solve the concern I'm having with this ship.
Does anybody else see this? Shark Boy and Lava Girl ship. That's what I see when I see this ship. That's the only thing that makes me struggle with it a little bit.
You know, they do call the ship the Hammerhead, so
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I struggle a little bit with that only because it feels a little cartoony to me, and I don't know what is on my screen. I don't know what window this is. Something is overlapping me. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's something you just moved in.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, it was my Explorer window.
That was it.
For the images. Yeah, I was struggling a little bit because I was seeing this Shark Boy and Lava Girl ship when I looked at it, and it may just be this one picture gave me those vibes. Okay, so maybe it's not really there. Hey, Ayosha. She's an offensive cap. See what Ayosha said in the chat? Yes, mostly, but she's an offensive anti-cap or large ship hunter. The cannons are equivalent to the Polaris main turret weapons, but similar on the ones from the Idris. Okay.
The thing that is really going to define how this ship is going to impact the verse is how fast can it rotate.
Yeah.
How fast can you turn the ship around? How easy is it to track something with that laser? If it needs something to be the size of a capital ship for you to be able to properly track it and really get that laser on target, then this could be a really interesting fit in the current ships we have. But if they make it too maneuverable, I can see this thing becoming a problem.
Do you think this ship was 100% made for tactical strike groups? Like, is this going to have an advantage in the tactical strike group missions?
I'm not sure, actually. It was probably really pushed because of this, but the other side is people really love their laser beams. And they've kind of been avoiding smaller laser beams, I've noticed.
Right.
But people have been asking for more laser beams a lot.
So
yeah, like was just said in chat, there's at least a 25% chance it was made for fun.
Yeah, but that's a lot. How much do you think this is going to cost for the fun? This is going to be a pricey ship, I'd imagine. The Hammerhead's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I can easily see this thing costing like 700, maybe more. They'll probably price it slightly above the Hammerhead so that Hammerhead's owners will be very tempted to upgrade to it. They love doing that.
So push everybody out of a Hammerhead into this?
I can't say that one for sure. They are
completely
different.
The Hammerhead's a special ship. Yeah, the Hammerhead's a really special ship. Like, that ship has a place in my heart for sure. This one, I'm not sure yet.
With the with the armor changes to the Hammerhead, that thing's been in a bad spot for a while, but nowadays it is actually performing really well if you have a crew with some good communication, some good gunner marksmanship.
All right, let's
Oh
move
boy, there's
on.
been a meme in our server.
Uh-oh.
See, before we were talking about guns missing, this one here is where is it? Where are the guns on this thing?
On the Odin? Are you looking at the Odin now?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the Odin? This is a battle cruiser. Right, the hologram?
Yeah, it is a completely different ship if you see it in the hologram.
What is this thing? It's so hard to even understand the shape of it, right? You look at the terrapin next to it. It's massive, of course. But what is going on with this thing? Like, holy cow.
From
this
what
is the
I'm looking
bridge
at
up here?
I personally think this is a horrible screenshot of it. It does not show the shape or anything about it at all. What it's currently missing is what I can only assume to be at least 9 probably size 10 guns and 2 or 3 probably size 9 guns on it that are on the actual thing.
This is the
From what
back
I've
of the
seen in the
ship,
PTU
right?
at least.
This is the back of the
that is the
ship,
back.
and this is the front of the ship. It's so interesting, the shape. I can't make heads or tails of what I'm looking at, though.
Yeah, the side angle or the side profile on this thing is a bit odd to look at. I'm not even sure how to describe it. It is a lot more compact than what you'd imagine. It does not like spread out far. It's not wide at all.
It looks like a submarine to me. I get submarine vibes.
Yeah.
Big time from this design. And I think it's because of this top part here. It really feels like a submarine.
Yeah, for sure. I do like that.
And it's skinny, like you said. It's not wide. It's tall, but it's not super wide.
There is one thing about this. This was a conversation I had with Trinvald, who was on the fence on if he wants one of these or not. I think in the end he decided that he's not the most interested purely due to the price. I think that this thing has a ton of retractable turrets. And there's one reason specifically. If you go back to the other image and zoom in on it, and then zoom in on the back of the ship.
On the back?
Yeah, if you can zoom in on the back of the ship. You see those 2 things there?
These little bins?
No. On the main body, the 2 reflective bits. In the PTU, those are large turrets, like Perseus-sized turrets sticking out.
Oh my gosh, they look tiny here.
If you go a bit left, there's 2 more on like the main body under the bridge.
Right here.
Yeah, and on the weird wing-like structures that's right below the bridge, there's another one.
Up here.
On the right hand side, yeah. Those are all turrets. Those are all full-on turrets that look like they're like size 7. I think this thing has fully retractable guns.
Okay, let's look at the size comparison here. Because I think we've all seen the Bengal in game, so we got a decent idea of how big that is, right? And we've seen javelins in game. So this is somewhere in the middle.
Size, for what they're classing it as, size-wise, this perfectly makes sense. The Bengal is really a super carrier frontline flagline ship, or frontline flagship. The Javelin is a full-on destroyer. That thing is small but carries large guns, and this thing is a battleship. Battle cruiser, they call it. And it has the guns to match. So size-wise, this is about what I was expecting this thing to be.
This is a Perseus next to it, right? This one here.
Yeah, that is a Perseus.
Interesting. Hey, Sergeant Ham. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, Technokoopa's worried about the cost related to the size, right? Because if you think about cost per square foot, right, and how much does a javelin cost, right? And
like 3,000.
So, how much bigger is it? It's about double the javelin, so 6,000. You think?
People are speculating that it would go up to 6,000. Personally, I have a theory, and this might just be me, is that they might limit the price to something like 5,000, just to avoid a lot of the headlines. Because 5,000 is already going to be extreme, but if they start selling a ship that's closer to 10,000, that is not the type of attention they would probably want.
I'm not sure. I don't think there's any bad publicity. I don't think there's any such thing as bad publicity. I think it would be smart to get the headlines. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? Do you think it's too crazy? It's too crazy to go that high? Do you think is there a market for a ship like that? Like I know there are people in this chat right now that if this ship cost 10,000, they could melt their whole fleet and get one. Come on.
You're in the chat?
Melt your whole fleet and get one.
I haven't seen you write any message yet, though.
Yeah.
Trimvol's not here either.
Oh, okay. Ham's up to 7K. Wrecker's like out. Roy Bean thinks it's 5 to 7. Oh, hell no, not even close. Yeah. It is. I don't know if it's excessive. I just don't know. Like, we have such a hard time doing large ship gameplay with the large ships we have. Like, obviously, when they figure out social tools, if you guys saw my Death of the Multi-Crew Ship video, you know a lot of my problems I have. That it sounds like they're going to address some of those shortly.
I will point out one thing here. This thing looks like it would have like 20 guns minimum. But
20.
They seem to have learned from things like the Perseus, in that I haven't seen any really small turrets with like size 3 guns on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might go all in on giving this thing guns with at least size 6 or size 7 that also have a secondary weapon option for something against fighters. If they do that, I can see them limiting the crew count while keeping it as effective as possible.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna manage these large crews. Like, how are we gonna manage crewing a ship like this? Like, what does it take? You know, I was talking to Art, who, you know, if you guys watch Star Jump Grim, Art, he's his producer. We talked to Art a little bit, and you know, his org is much more organized than ours because we're just babies still. We're trying to figure this stuff out, but like crewing a ship like that is just they've got to solve some of the multiplayer, multi-crew stuff. Definitely.
Though, if you do look at it that way, them bringing out an event like the squad battles that they're doing now, those are exactly the types of things you bring out if you want to start working on getting better multi-crew experiences.
Yes.
Since this promotes people getting in it, and it promotes them getting testing data for it.
You know what else I saw on the recent video they put out, the SCL Live? They talked about teleporting. It almost, I felt so like they heard me, even though I'm sure everyone in the community is saying the same things I was saying in that Death of a Multi-Crew video, but like I felt heard a little bit when they were talking about understanding the issue with getting into the game, getting into a multi-crew, having the teleport, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, the teleport bathrooms. like little changing phone booths for Superman. You know, you jump in and you come out of and you're in another place. I don't know how they're gonna make the lore work, but the fact that like I can sign in and I can see Compy and Trinvold and Trash, they're all out doing something fun, and I can just jump to the fun and not have to like jump through hoops to get to them, and everything's already over and the battle's done. Like, you know, I look forward to those days because, you know, I want to play the game and have fun. And there are times when the downtime in the game is fun, like doing the off-grid stuff, you know, just flying around, salvaging ships. Like, those things are fun. But, like, if there's some big action going on in the org and I want to jump in and be part of it, it's really hard to justify the amount of time it's going to take. And sometimes I misinterpret the amount of time. Like, I think, oh, okay, let me get in my ship and head over to you guys. And then it's like, ooh, what should I wear? I need to figure out my gear. I need to figure out weapons. Is my loadout good for what they're doing? What ship should I bring? Oh, boy, let me think about that, right? Like, it may take longer than I expect to even get to where they are. And that's not even the travel time. And if I need to refuel or if I need other stuff. Thanks for the follow. I saw that. Appreciate you.
I will say, there's been some good questions in chat about this too. There's one point here from Big B about that these ships would need something like maintenance and things like that.
Oh my God.
I think a big reason
that.
why they're releasing this as a concept and not something that they're promising to get into the game in a short time frame or anything akin to that is the state engineering currently is in. From what I've heard, there has been talk about what things they want engineers to do, what would be tedious. The fuses were a great example of that. The fact that there currently is not a lot they can do would be a big reason for them to avoid getting these types of ship in the game for now. Not sure if other people agree with that, though. I do know there's plenty of people that just want big guns to shoot.
DOS Killer agrees.
There's this other game I play. Are you familiar with the game Barrow Trauma?
No. Anyone in chat know what that is? What is it called?
Barrow Trauma. It is a 2D submarine game.
Oh.
The point I'm trying to make with that is an entire game around keeping a submarine running.
Oh, Ham knows that game.
Ah, yeah.
That sounds interesting.
I personally really hope that Star Citizen goes in a direction like that, although maybe with a bit less tedium or maybe even more. If they do that, I can see multi-crew missions, multi-crew ships, and all of these events that they're planning focused around multi-crew suddenly being the most interesting late-stage combat.
Like trying to keep your ship alive?
Yeah. In general, this game needs a lot more stuff to do. Let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever been in a quantum jump with a ship that has like 7 people in it, you'll know exactly what I mean.
High risk.
We were just sent a video by Wrecker regarding the Odin, and I did see another comment a bit ago about the turrets on the... I keep forgetting the name of it. I keep wanting to call it the Odin, but it was... Was it the Odin?
All right, I put the picture Wrecker sent up on the screen. This is a weird picture. Those are all warheads.
Those
in
are
the back.
ammo.
That is the ammo for the gun, and this is the guy who's in the turret. But there's a guy up here too. I don't
Yeah, those are for the
exactly
deck guns.
understand this. Okay, so these are
I'm
magazines here. These long things.
not even sure. I think those might, or those look like they might be power lines or something akin to that.
I thought these were like magazines for like ballistics, but you might be right. It might not be.
I just saw another comment from Heartbreaker that's the powder. Not sure if I
Powder
hold
charges
up.
for the shells. Oh, yeah, because these are shells. These are not like missiles.
Those
These
are shells.
That's very much like what you would see on a destroyer, right? In a Navy fleet, right? Like those type of armaments.
Either way, is it just me or they're currently selling they're currently going to sell that pit bull, and then here they're looking at a ship where they sell ammo the size of a pit bull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very cool. Yeah, teleport to leader. That's going to be interesting. Okay. On the topic of ships, I kind of want to move off of this particular ship discussion. Pompey, what ship do you think is the strongest as far as the one that people are going to use the most in the game? Like, what ship do you think out of the new ships that we've been shown, and there might be a few others we haven't seen yet, but like,
out of the new ones that we've been shown,
yeah, like the Ironclad we didn't really talk about too much, but I do want to kind of talk about the command module. So, but just the ones that we looked at there, Roy is feeling good about the Tiburon and the Ironclads being the most used and useful ships in the game going forward.
I can see
from this.
I can see the Ironclad easily becoming the new most common hauler ship, large hauler ship at least, simply due to its versatility.
Mm-hmm.
The onloading and offloading and all the ramps it has they're just too good. Let's be real here. It is exactly made for the current cargo system. You're not going to run into any issues with the cargo being unprotected in the future when they add that, and it just has space to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, the M80, depending on the state of heavy fighters, which is a hot topic currently, so I'm not going to get into that. I can also see that one being fairly popular in the same way that the Guardian is very popular.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, the M80 is super sexy, right? That ship is definitely one that I've got my eye on. From a looks, I'm not really a combat person, so like the Ironclad Assault, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the Ironclad. I'm excited for the Pit Bull.
I will add, the Ironclad Assault might arguably become better. That in my eyes might become the best one.
Yeah.
Simply because it has the refueling.
Mm-hmm.
That fact alone adds so much versatility that it's going to be hard to compete with.
But again, it's not really there unless you've loaded up the ammo, the fuel, the stuff that you want to have. You've got to have it loaded in the ship. And how many people have enough time in their gameplay session that they're just going to go pull out the Ironclad, go take it somewhere, buy all that stuff over at Port Tressler, load it all in, and then load in another ship into that ship? Like, holy cow. The amount of time and energy and effort and risk of despawn bugs and all the other things that are going to happen. Is it realistic gameplay or is it fantasy?
You're forgetting one detail, and that is one that right now is a bit questionable, but in the future might become a lot more valuable. You can craft those things. If you're doing a mining expedition, you can send people out to gather some of the materials. Right now, we don't have any refining ships, but in the future, you're just going to be able to do all of that in the field, most likely.
Right, but that's not going to be a thing that happens instantly, right? That's a lot more work crafting it than it is buying it.
We are going to have to see with that. On the other hand, it also really depends on how much it's going to use and how much you're going to need. If you have one single ship in there that the only damage it might take is from like some mining accident, which that is
Right.
very dependent on how familiar you are with mining, how many accidents you have.
I have all of them.
You might only need to load up one 8 SU, one 32 SU box, and you'll be set for the entire time.
Let's talk a little bit about the command module for a second. Why bring this feature online now after all of these years? Like, why now?
Do you want the realistic answer or do you want the fun answer?
I just want to know the answer, like, because this is something they could have put in the game when the Caterpillar came out, but they didn't. But why now? And Ironclad shouldn't be the reason. Like, from a gameplay system standpoint, why do you guys think now?
I can give the most likely answer if you want right now. If you also want, we can wait for some chat comments, see what people have to think.
Yeah, I'd love to see what chat thinks about why now. Why is now the time for command module? But yeah, go ahead and give me yours while they're responding.
I think it's a culmination of all the things they've recently been adding. They have finally gotten modularity in a good state. There were a lot of issues with ship docking, and now that all of those are all fixed, they have a large ship that was very sought after with a lot of excitement. And when you have that, it's very easy to schedule in the one thing that it still needs to get it out the door. Since you can look at CIG as a massive company, but at the same time, it is still a group of people that needs time to work on everything.
Right. Yeah, people are saying money. That's an interesting. Ham mentioned it. Maybe they're getting close to escape pods, and this is part of it.
I can see escape pods being tied to the same system too.
Yeah. Tenpathy said the tech aligned with forced boarding.
Oh, that's a good one too. I didn't even think about that one.
Right, because if we get the Legionnaire, right, it's got that little hallway that kind of punches through the, what are those called? The where it connects to the docking port, right?
Doors.
The docking port. Yeah, it can punch through the docking port essentially. And can it take control of the ship? That's an interesting concept too. Like taking over the control of the ship when you punch onto it with the Legionnaire.
I doubt it will be able to do that. That might be something in the future, but I do see that it is just all the tech that they've been adding finally lining up. I've seen a few people be a bit confused on what the point is. I think that the command modules are actually going to be a fairly useful feature. With the Caterpillar, they changed the command module to also have a large crew compartment where you can essentially use it like a dropship.
Oh,
I think that,
okay.
or at least they had a bunch of jump seats on it, I believe. I could be wrong there, actually.
This feels like the command module feels like it makes the Crucible work from what we were looking at with the Crucible earlier too.
Yeah, for sure. But what I was going to say is, say we're doing a salvage op. We've had the issue a lot of times where something happens to someone and their ship's suddenly disabled, or something happens and their ship breaks. If we have one of the cargo haulers in a Caterpillar, they can quickly just say, oh, I'm just going to disconnect. People can still load and offload the cargo, and they can go pick someone up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is a lot of weird utility, and it is going to be niche, but it is still utility in these types of ship that might give them a benefit over other ones and set them apart.
Yes. Some folks were saying like they don't see any reason for to detach the ship at all. Like it just feels like a gimmick. It doesn't feel useful, but for me, I look at it as like operational flexibility, logistics behavior, think about deployment support, survival philosophies. Like if you look at all those kind of thoughts around the command module, I feel like there should be some way in game to buy caterpillars without command modules or something similar. I don't know what they want to call it, but like, or ironclads without the command module so that you could like build your own little mobile home park, right? And you could have a bunch of these out somewhere you're using for operations. This
base
is
building
base
tier
building.
0.
Yeah, base building tier 0. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, like like does having this detachable feature actually give us operation flexibility if you're doing some sort of ops? Like is there really any value of leaving it? Can other people use the services of that vehicle if you're not there? Like if you own it,
That
you leave it with your
there
group.
are going well, it is still going to be a large grid with a bunch of cargo spaces. So if you're running a group of small miners or something like that, I can see it being a fairly valuable addition, especially if you need to go somewhere to pick up or drop off more crew.
Right.
But for a large part of it, it is still a thing where you're going to have to keep in mind it is a niche tool, and you have to use it as a tool. If you don't have anything that you use a hammer for, a hammer is the most useless thing you can get. But if you can think of some way to use it that makes your tasks a lot easier.
Okay, well, hold on a second. There's a bunch of jump seats in this thing, right? Like, how many jump seats are in the command module? So to me, that feels like a shuttle. Like, I'm going to go drop a bunch of people off at the base where we've got a bunch of these ironclads sitting out there and caterpillars, and I'm going to go back over to Microtech and pick up the rest of the crew and bring them out to the fleet, right? Or to wherever we're operating.
Or there's
it's
another
almost
thing.
like a shuttlecraft.
There's also another thing here where in the salvaging events we have a lot of people that show up in one ship and then suddenly want to help out in a larger reclaimer, for instance, or the other way around. They want to go back to their own ship or go to the Idris to either grab a ship there. If you have one of the haulers that can just quickly say, oh yeah, sure, I'll go pick you up, they can then quickly detach and go help the other people out. Or in the other scenario, say there's someone that needs to offload a bunch of crew, but they're all the way up somewhere else. You can just quickly have them park their ship inside the Idris, pick them up in the command module, and then take them where their cargo needs to load or offload.
Right. Yeah. Thinking about the salvage ops for a second, you made a good point there. A lot of times you kind of want to leave your cargo ship sitting where the vultures can unload into it, right? So if you got a bunch of vultures out there, you could leave the caterpillars or ironclad bays sitting there so that they can continue to work. But if you need to go run and get supplies or go get stuff, or like you said, go to the Idris for something, you've got a way to do that without disrupting the operation. It does give a lot of flexibility from an operation standpoint, I think.
Exactly. Like I said, it is going to be a tool, and like any tool, you need to get yourself a scenario where you can use it.
Yeah.
I can see for a lot of people this feature being completely useless and they calling it a waste of time, while at the same time there's other groups that actively use it in every single operation they do.
Hold on, I got to tell something. Hey, if you're watching this stream right now and you are one of those people that think that this is just a gimmick and this is something that you will never use, it doesn't even serve a purpose for you, come join our org. Come hang out with us, because you'll probably see this being used quite a bit and it might actually be fun. So, it could just be for a solo player. It absolutely makes no sense, right? But it could be that if you're part of a group that does fun events, then this could be a great tool. And I'm actually very excited to see how we use this in our group, as we do our salvage ops and mining ops and these different things. We do events on Saturday. So if you guys are open on Saturday mornings, US time, head to our Discord, and I will put a link to our Discord in the chat for you guys. I'm very excited about this one. I want to move on though, because we are running out of time for this stream. I'm already over time, but I will keep going because you guys are here. If you guys want me to keep going, let me know. My plan was to stop at noon. I don't have to. I have time. I can go a little longer, but Compy, here's the big question.
This is the problem. We're having fun.
I know we're having fun this stream, so time's going by really fast. Question for you: with all these new systems that they're adding to the game right now, what kind of game is Star Citizen becoming? I feel like something significant is changing because of 4.8. What are you feeling? What is it becoming?
In my eyes, the game is finally changing from a single player experience that has other people in it in something where you can actually start engaging with multiple people and where it's starting to be promoted.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of scenarios where there's people who play this game that almost seem to dislike the thought of having other people that they have to interact with and that they have to do things with. They need other people to play these missions. They almost treat it like it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, there's finally starting to be a change where large coordinated groups are actually getting not only recognized but almost promoted with the new content, and they're clearly setting an example that the end game content that they're going to be adding, well, that they are adding now, but that they're going to be adding, really needs multiple people working together. And it's finally starting to feel like they're looking at this like an MMO rather than an alpha.
Right. Is there a place in this universe for solo players?
There always will be. And most of the content that's already here, you can do on your own. And there's a lot of things that you can do on your own that you can help out larger groups with even.
Mm-hmm.
A large example is the player market. You can go out on your own and craft some of the highest grade weapons and armor. In a lot of cases, all you need to do is grind some reputation and then have a crafting machine. If you do that on your own, you can already quickly get a really good reputation and then sell those to other people.
Right. They've talked about recently the player economy in a recent video, right, where they talked about player trading hubs like, the new Babbage TDD and Orison's TDD, right? I guess all of the systems have one. A place to go do trading, like the auction house in WoW. That was one of the most exciting places in WoW. I loved going to the auction house in that game. World of Warcraft had a really interesting way for players to craft and trade. It seems like we're going to get there. It seems like it's coming, and those TDDs will be like an actual place people want to go. And, you guys, you know me. I'm going to have an alt sitting in there all day long, trading, buying, selling, making money. So if you need money, you can come find me in the auction house or in the TDD. I'm excited for the future because that is what gives the solo player in their generalist ship out there just making their way in the world, a place to drop all that stuff off and make money. And
Exactly.
that's so cool because I'm a solo player most of the time, right? Like I play with you guys when we have events and it's so much fun, but at the same time, because it takes so long for us to organize those things, like if it's an evening and I got an hour or two to kill, like I can jump in the game and just run a bunker, go do some salvaging, go do a cargo mission or something. But with these new systems coming in, crafting, engineering, creating new components, and if they get the social tools and the TDDs fully operational, wow, this game is going to look so different than last year.
I mean, that is really the beautiful thing about this game that always brings me, and I know for sure a lot of other people, back, is this game really does have a lot of stuff to do for both sides of the coin here. For for large groups, solo players aren't some kind of nuisance or something they can ignore. Those are still
Mm-mm.
just a core part of the game, and those are
Right.
still a core thing that you interact with. And all the signs are pointing at that they're going to be focusing on player economies and player driven social interactions settings and all those sorts of things. And Star Citizen now already has the perfect setup to have every gameplay type you want have its role. If you're alone
Thinking,
or if you're in a group of 100 people.
mm-hmm. Going back to tactical strike groups for just a second.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be required to do those? Like outside of getting the mission, paying for the mission, or however they want to structure that. Like how much staging are we going to have to do to be ready to go in there?
I I haven't been on the PTU enough to really be able to properly answer that, but I can broadly say that all you're really going to need for this is a lot of time. You're going to need to
Mhm.
do some preparations, look at what you're dealing, and then have some plan in place for what you're going to really be facing there. Especially
Mm.
with armor, the problem isn't really the amount of people either. More people will probably make it faster, but if you have a group that does no preparation and you show up with the wrong stuff, it is not going to make it easier at all. There,
Right.
you probably will have one random person on Reddit that will somehow beat this entire mission on his own and then probably set up some kind of speedrun timer for it.
Mhm.
So it really all comes down to the time you're putting into it and the
Okay.
preparation and all of that.
Yeah, because I mean,
Ori-
obviously, those are some of the challenges, that I think we're going to have as an org. Thinking about our little group of folks that want to go try to take this on. Um, obviously, we're a ragtag little fleet, but I think that we could definitely try to do it. It's just, do we have enough repair materials on board our capital ships, right? We have to have ammo, we have to have fuel potentially. Um does it make sense to bring in Apollo so you have lots of med beds, so like if one of your big ship gets wiped and a whole bunch of people die at once, like do you need a way for a wipe to respawn at the event? Like I don't know. I've seen a couple of videos on the event. I know Captain Foxy Loxy put out some content around it. If you guys don't watch him, I love that guy. He puts out so much good stuff to give you kind of some inside look at what's happening, and I really enjoy his content. But like it's going to be fun, right? Because we're going to have to think a little bit. We're going to have to plan a little bit. We need folks in our group that are probably organizing that and coming up with the plan, sharing the plan, and trying to get people on board for different roles and different ships and different, everyone has different jobs.
Funny you say this. I have been working a lot on fleet management and really getting all the roles set up. And for this mission, from what we've seen, we know that there's going to be a Vandal capital ship. From what I heard, fighting that thing is optional.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a bunch of fighters. We've seen an enemy Perseus, I believe it was. I'm convinced that you could probably do this with a far smaller group than most people expect.
Okay. I think that's fair.
I can see you being able to run this with even something as small as a Perseus, maybe a Paladin with a good gunner, and 1 or 2 fighters.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an experienced group, at least.
Right. I think once we get enough practice and we know what we're doing, right? It might get easier.
That for sure. That's always the case. At first, it's always the most difficult thing there is, and then after a few months, it gets farmed for fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Chat. This is a question for you guys. What part of 4.8 feels like the most important long term? There's so much in this patch, but is there any one new feature that you think long term is probably the most important one that they've added during this patch? For me, I think it's the rearm, repair, refuel. Yeah, Tempathy, you're saying the same thing as me. Yeah, it could be crossbows too. Scrapping ship from Aesop. Holy cow. That is an interesting one too. Like, if you steal a ship from an enemy NPC, put it in your hangar, store it, you can then scrap it for materials? Is that how it works? I haven't tried it. That's why I'm asking, because Zambiri said scrapping ships.
Yeah, I haven't looked into this at all. I was actually going to wait for the patch to fully drop to see how they end up doing it when it goes live.
Anyone else? I see Punchbag said the multi-crew activities.
Yeah, for sure.
It's true. For the long-term survival of the game, people need to be able to use their big ships, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm really glad that they are finally focusing on multi-crew activities. I really hope that where right now they have a combat one, that they're going to do some kind of industrial ones in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Purely because this year shows them and gives them all the data they need on what works and what doesn't work with these larger ships, and then they'll have a baseline to expand on. They were doing it. They were in one of their Q&As recent. I believe it was the most recent Q&A. They already said that with engineering, they added too much at once, and the feedback was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will do the exact opposite when it comes to multi-crew gameplay. They will have all the feedback in one spot, and they can see what works and what doesn't.
It's true. They're going to get a lot of data from these events that are going to really help them make good decisions to help make this a better experience, I think.
I did also see Roy Bean in chat with the insurance.
Yeah, that one has some significant ramifications, right?
Yeah, I don't even think we properly covered insurance this entire stream.
No, this patch is huge, guys. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this patch is fundamentally changing the game in very significant ways. Like, what we're used to is going to be different soon. The other one too, hacking Tempathy says we need hacking next to launder liberated items from their ownership tags. Yes,
Yeah,
I
the
know.
change
That's a
that they're
big
doing
one.
to the change they're doing to salvaging, that you can no longer really salvage components. It's really frustrating, but I can see why it's happening right now.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I
no,
hope that.
that one kind of sickens me
I,
a little bit, that change. I gotta admit,
yeah,
as
I
someone who
hope that
likes
they're
to
adding
do that.
some hacking sort of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Wrecker says the rearm, repair, refuel, and the hangar changes. He doesn't like the ship limit. I see the need, but it doesn't help orgs with loaner ships. Yeah, the 25 ships per hangar. How does that means delivered, right? Because obviously, if you have more than 25 ships, you can still claim or deliver those 25 ships. Once you hit 25, you have to scrap one if you want to bring a different one, right? Is that how it works? On site, yes. Okay. So far. Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to
this is
get into the
something that
PTU and check some of this stuff out soon, because it's coming.
in my eyes, this here also is something that's probably a work in progress feature. So I'm going to really wait and see what they're doing with this before I give a real opinion on it.
Mm-hmm. True.
I can very much see it happening that they release this, people don't like it, then they go back on it too. So we're just gonna have to wait and see.
So here's the thing. Like, summarizing 4.8 a little bit here for me. When you think about large coordinated operations, persistent deployments, being able to rearm, refuel out in the field, right? Fleet infrastructure that this enables, you could really think about this in a bigger fleet way. Sustained operations, and then specialization we haven't really talked about, but like with the new refueling ship, um, hopefully we get the Crucible at some point, have some sort of repair ship, but being able to repair ships. Are people going to bring the Ironclad Assault out to this tactical strikes group because that bay is going to be so easy to land and repair in? Like, there could be, until we get the Crucible or some of the other large repair ships, the Ironclad could fill that role, right? As a specialized repair ship that's easier to get in and out of than even the Idris hangar. What do you think?
I can see that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can very much see that, and I'm kind of expecting it almost.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to change
It's
things
something
a
that we're
bit.
going to have to see, because the big question with this one is how much armor does the Ironclad actually have? And armor has been changing quite a lot, so I'm not going to look it up yet because it's already changed twice as PTU, how much armor
Oh,
ships
okay.
have in general. So we're going to have to see.
Looking at the patch,
Yeah.
like, I feel like the ships that they're introducing in this patch are what's going to grab the headlines, right? But it's the support systems that are actually changing the universe. It's not the ships. It's the systems they're putting in right now that are more significant. The systems are more significant than the ships, is what I'm trying to get at, right?
Yeah, for sure. This entire patch feels like it's a step in the direction that they want the game to go in, rather than an update adding things because they were able to add them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm looking at this entire patch. They're they're done with all the things that they need for stability, all the core features that they need, because it's just lacking yet. This is finally them focusing on what they want the game to be.
So we're coming to the end of the stream, and I just wanted to kind of let you guys know the Dusty's Workshop YouTube channel is really for live streams like this, investigations, like before and after we do the factory service manuals. When I put those videos out, you guys comment so heavily, and your comments are so good. Like, they're so deep, and it makes me rethink the ship and the loadout that I put in it. And I really want to dive back into those ships, and I just put out one for the Corsair because you guys gave such interesting and thoughtful feedback that I wanted to kind of read those and go through those comments. So the Dusty's Workshop channel is the live stream channel for Thrusters and Dust. So if you guys could go there and subscribe, and check out the live streams, they'll be there, and I won't be moving them private or members only like they currently are on the main channel because I was having trouble there. So I appreciate that you guys do that. And then the main channel is going to be where we have the factory service manuals. So new factory service manuals are going to go on the main Thrusters and Dust channel, and that is I'm currently working on the C2, which is the one you guys voted for, and that is in progress right now and coming soon. I also want to let you guys know that we've got the Thrusters and Dust website, Patreon page. That is where you can go to download the manuals. So you can see here, all of the manuals are here. You can download these with a free account. You don't need to do anything. There's 17 manuals up here now that you guys have access to. You also have access to 11 ship posters. So we've got a lot of posters out here, and new ones are coming all the time. So if you love posters and ships, you can see I have one in the back over here. There's a raft poster. But there's a lot of these posters you can download and have them printed. They get delivered right to your house. Super cool stuff. And then the new ship component trading cards. These are the version 3 ones I was telling you guys that I was working on. So these are the updated design. They've been sent to print. I expect to have them in my hands very soon. And as soon as I do, I'll put a video up on Patreon and you guys in Dusty's Workshop channel, and you guys can check them out for yourselves. I am going to make these available to you guys so you can have your own deck of these cards. This last set I printed, there was 66 unique ship component trading cards, including radars and tractor beams. So this is going like crazy, and I've got a lot more cards to upload here. But you'll see these featured in the factory service manual videos and the upgrade guides that are the members only videos on the main Thrusters and Dust channel. So thank you so much for your support on Patreon, YouTube, Twitch. Thank you for helping me hit my affiliate goal and hopefully my subscriber goals. I really appreciate you guys. Remember to join the Oregon Discord. Come out, hang out with us, because we've got a lot going on over there, and we have fun events. Compy can attest, Wrecker in chat. We got a lot of folks in chat that can attest that the events are a lot of fun, and we have one every Saturday right now. You're welcome to join in with us. Consider us your friends. If you don't play with anybody right now and you're a solo guy, like, I'm your friend. It's okay. Come join my Discord. I'm telling you to just come hang out with us. It's fine. Like, we're a lot of fun, and the events are fun, and we've got a lot of folks that can help guide you to the place you need to be. So make sure that you don't miss out on those. Yeah, go ahead, Compy.
Yeah, for the events, they're really open-ended. The Saturday ones, they're free to drop in and drop off when you want with most of them. We do mining, salvaging, and some other gameplay types. So don't be afraid to drop in, even if it's just to say hi.
Yeah, it's true. And you'll see a big group of us in the event voice chat. You can just pop in and everyone will greet you and say hello and get to know you, and we have a good time, and it's always so much fun. So thank you for the sub, Roy Bean. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Even if you don't have a sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going that even if you don't have a salvaging or mining ship, there's plenty of people that do, and there's plenty of people with multi-crew ships that'll take you on board too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, if you guys want some T&D stuff, I do have a little shop that has some stuff on it. I've priced everything to the price that they charge me. I just want you guys to wear the stuff and use the stuff. I know we've all got our Thrusters and Dust shirts and our coffee mugs, and each of our little divisions inside the group has their own little stuff, and it's a lot of fun. We design these together and we come up with interesting things. So we got these, salvage crew, cargo crew. Talvo, our lore master, came up with our Dirty Hands, Clean Work slogan, which represents us so well as an industrial community. Like we're really industrial players. We're not PvP. We're not pirates. We are really focused on having a good time together. And so Dirty Hands, Clean Work, that's our logo there. So
Dusty, just pointing out, Roy Bean just gifted a bunch of tier 1 subs.
Oh wow, thank you, Roy. You guys, you just got subbed from Roy. Thank you so much. That is so cool. I'm not even sure what all this Twitch stuff means yet. I'm gonna go dig into it after, because I wasn't even affiliate a few minutes ago and I didn't have anybody. So this is all very exciting. Thank you so much.
If you just got gifted a sub, don't forget to thank Roy in the chat too.
Yeah, that's so cool. Again, guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Technokoopa just holy cow, we just got 10 more subs. Oh my gosh. Technokoopa, you are amazing. Technokoopa's been with me for quite a while now as a Foundry partner, and holy cow, he is awesome. You guys, he's not a very loud person. He's in the background. I always see him, but I don't get to talk to him very often. But thank you so much. That was awesome. So you guys pick up that sub, add it onto the channel, and we're gonna keep streaming every Thursday and Sunday at this exact time, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So for your local time, you'll have to convert, but we're also going to be streaming some of the Saturdays as well. Thank you, Sphericon, for the follow. That was awesome. Thank you so much. So don't miss the streams coming up. We're going to be digging into more ships. We have a couple of different shows here, guys. We've got the Factory Service Manual Live, which is where we dig into the ships and go through the builds and the loadouts, and you'll see the cards up on the screen. So the Corsair video is over on the Dusty's Workshop channel if you want to check that out. And then we're going to also have event live streams. So some of these events that we're doing and these fun events that we've got going on, I am going to live stream some of them, and we're going to be, trying to welcome folks in from the community that are watching to come play with us. And so I really want to create a community where everybody feels welcome and everybody knows that we care about them, and we all care about each other a lot in this group, and we watch each other's backs. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you all in game very soon. And thank you so much for helping me hit my sub goal. I just realized that my sub goal is now dead. I need to do it again. Apparently, it doesn't do. I thought it was going to do it automatically, but it doesn't seem to do it automatically. So I need to restart that and start it over again. Okay.
You'll figure it out one day.
Yeah, this is complicated stuff. This Twitch stuff, guys. I don't know how Starjump Grim makes it look so easy. He has me on his show, and he's pushing all these buttons, and there's so much happening on the screen, and he's got charity events, and I'm like, how in the world do you do this? This is insane. So I'm learning very, very slowly, but I'm learning, and I really appreciate you guys being patient with me while we're figuring this stuff out. So thank you so much for coming to the stream today. I think I'm going to wrap this up a little bit. Compy, any final words on 4.8?
I'm excited to have some fun.
Me too. I can't wait to dive into tactical strike groups together. Should be a lot of fun. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and remember that my hangar is always open to you.